Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot to cover this evening, so I'll get right into it. First of all, let's talk about all our awesome dividends that we got today. For me, it was about $750 in the one account. I have about 850 shares of TSLY, and no, I didn't drip. So I just took the cash dividend, and I'm actually planning to get more TSLY. I'm going to wait and see what it does. Today was a heck of a day for the market, so let's get right into it. First guest on the stream. Of course, you're back to being first. Welcome. All right. So let's see here. Stock analysis is not going to show us the market indexes today. Of course, Yahoo's going to show us the futures, which are down tomorrow. But I guess we'll just use this for now. By the way, the other big thing I want to talk about, I got out of the Meta options today, and it played out pretty much exactly like I thought it would. Meta was up about $10 a share today. It dropped a little bit from its peak, but needless to say, getting out in the morning instead of the afternoon was about a $4,000 difference. Not too bad, right? 4,000. What's that? But I'll use this as a lesson, or a coaching session for all of you all on options. Yeah, good evening. You all are going to get a lot of coaching this evening. Some of it maybe at my expense, but hopefully everybody learns a lesson. I'm going to get into my Meta options. Welcome. Got a lot of you on. A lot of you waiting for me. Okay, let's go to Yahoo Finance first. And then, actually, no, you know what? Let's do Seeking Alpha. I'm trying to get away from Yahoo Finance. Let's try Seeking Alpha. Let's see how this goes. Hopefully we can see all the indices like we want to. It's probably going to show the futures since we're already, at this hour. All right, let's see. Bear with me here. So Andre's on too. Wow, we got a bunch of you on. Careful with that name. I don't go by my name, so careful with that. You'll find out, like I said, when I release my book, soon enough. Okay, well, here we go. Is this what we closed at today? Let's see. Okay, let's see. No, why is this? The Dow closed at 428. We were up 428 today in the Dow. Is this the futures? I swear, I just looked at Yahoo and it was negative. Let me look again now. That's so weird. So Yahoo has negative futures for like a negative implied open for all four of the major indexes, but Seeking Alpha has something totally different. Seeking Alpha has us up another 200 and something in the Dow. So okay, well, I'll just read off from my phone here. This should be so simple, but so simple yet so complicated. Anyway, the Dow was up about 429. The Nasdaq was up 156. The S&P was up 53 and change. The S&P, by percentage-wise, was up 1.22%. The Nasdaq was up 1.15%. And I have an idea I want to run by you all because we're going to get into options trading too. But for the title and purposes, we are going to talk a lot about the YieldMax funds. So if I titled it an options video, it wouldn't get half the views that it gets. So we'll get into that. But we are going to cover these YieldMax funds today. Like I said, for me, it was about $750 in dividends today. So that's, once a month, that's a really awesome dividend. But I'm looking to, pair my positions more into YieldMax, not just YieldMax, but TSLY in particular. I'm not too interested in the other funds, to be honest, mainly just TSLY. Even the Russell was up today, 15. That's almost 1%. Really good day for the markets. But yeah, Meta, wait until you all see Meta. It's just crazy. So this is what happens. This is what I call the psychology of investing, the psychology of markets, so to speak. So I've been looking to get out of my Meta options since like June 1st. And if Hoffman's on, he'll probably scold me for this one too. He claims he emailed me, but I didn't see an email from today. Um, the engineer's on with another article. We'll have to pull that up on Neo. Let me ask you, engineer, do you think, since you wrote an article on Neo, you obviously know a lot about it, do you think that one's due for a big upswing? I remember that was a big one in the 2021 market. It was talked about a lot on this platform too. Let me look at that one since you brought it up. This one was like a penny stock back in like May 2020, and it shot all the way up to $58 a share and then crashed back down. So let me know, engineer, what you think it's going to do. By the way, over the weekend, if I get a chance, I probably won't, but I'm going to do this in the future. I'm going to record an audiobook basically for that that book by Chris Meyer, The 100 Baggers. What I'm going to do, I'm going to read it audio, like it's going to be an Audible book. So I don't think I'll run into any copyright issues. I like that. Yeah, maybe I am a Tim. Maybe Andre's wrong about my first name. Yeah, it's whatever you look like, right? So anyway, LOL. Yeah, so like I said, the outline this evening, we're gonna, you can tell I'm itching to get into these options strategies, but first I'm gonna talk about, well, I already told you what my dividend was, but I mean, we all know it was an 80-cent dividend for TSLY, so that's no secret at this point. You're guessing, well, just keep guessing, but your guesses are getting closer, whereas on the last live stream, they were like way off, and it was getting colder, so, but that's cool. You all will find out soon enough. Once I write a book, I've got to get used to being a public figure officially. So I'll enjoy my last few months of anonymity. Is that the proper word? So anyway, yeah, that will come soon enough. Okay, back to this. So here's what I'm looking at. I'm really, the wheels in my head are turning, and I'm sure they are for a lot of you all too, with these dividends. Like, this is potential for like life-changing wealth, which, by the way, that's the theme of this channel, life-changing wealth, obviously. That's the whole point. So, like I said, I'm glad I discovered these funds, which really you all introduced these to me 3 or 4 months ago. I didn't know anything about YieldMax. So now I've kind of become a YieldMax channel. So, all right, dividends, TTM trailing 12 months. That's the dividend scorecard. You have to pay the premium. Maybe one day I'll do it. I've gotten ripped off on so much other stuff. Heck, what's another $99, right? What's this? Yield on cost, 31%. See, I got to get used to this format here. Where is, I just want the, oh, I think here it is right here. Oh, come on, don't tell me I have to. I just want to see the dividend yield. This is why I use Yahoo. Oh, here we go. Here is every dividend that it's paid. It paid $1 January 9th, paid 90 cents, 90 cents, 83 cents. I think this might be rounding. So 80 cents. So what I'm looking at, like in my own portfolio, I've got some other stocks I'm looking to sell out of. I could free up, say, like 30,000 or so and buy more into TSLY. And with that, what I would do, say, take 30,000, divide by, what is it right now, 16 something, 1640. So that would be another 1,829 shares. And at an 80-cent dividend, that's almost $1,500 a month. That's like a basic income. I mean, not a full-time income, but it's getting better, So you take that, add it to the 750 that I already got. That's like 2,000 a month. So you talk about multiple cash flows starting to take hold. You start to think about, and this is where everything I've been building up towards for the last probably 5 to 7 or 8 years, you can see the vision where it kind of starts to come to fruition. That's what it's all about, really. And I'll get into that in my book, part of the THB method. Anybody that's like a successful entrepreneur or successful in business, they build out multiple streams of income. So you're not just dependent on your job. But what's great with your job, and I heard a short clip today from, I think it's the guy from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, I think that's his name. And he talked about how he said basically he hates writing books, which ironically, I'm writing a book too. I don't hate it. I actually like writing. I find writing to be therapeutic sometimes, but it helps you organize your thoughts, get your thoughts out. But anyway, long story short, he said he hates writing books, but he does it because it fuels his purpose basically. While writing the book is not part of the overall purpose, it generates money, which then fuels the overall purpose. So long story short, you know, that's kind of the goal, right? Get these multiple streams of income going. You're not dependent on one of them. You have multiple ones. And then your job, really, you want to use the job to fuel your 401k, or if you've changed jobs a bunch, multiple 401ks, say. Next thing you know, you get a six-figure balance. You start to get multiple six-figure balances, say, or in one, you get 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. All of a sudden, the market starts doing 30% a year, and you're in all, say, aggressive funds, NASDAQ, S&P, which, in my opinion, you might as well be aggressive, because if you're going to invest in the market, the way I look at it, this bullshit about conservative versus aggressive or versus moderate and all of that. Guess what? If the market's up, you're going to be up. If you're conservative, you're going to capture less of it. Whereas on the downside, if it's down, you're going to capture less of the downside. But the market's more up than it is down, so you're better off just being aggressive. Trust me on that, because I'm speaking from the experience I have as an investor. You're better off just being aggressive. The way the Fed handles things, in our lifetimes, like I know the Great Depression happened like 80 years ago, but in our lifetimes, the Fed has always come in and massaged the markets so that if we have a downturn, they start cutting interest rates again and they get the market propped up. So long term, like you look at the last bull market over 12 years, we had, like, you just look at the S&P, for example. I mean, we were averaging like 12 to 15% a year. Depending on how you do the annual rate of return, you could even argue 20%. If you look at it, it's like a 200% return over 10 years. So depending on how you calculate rate of return, you were better off just, honestly, everything in S&P, everything in NASDAQ. Like I said, everything long term is going to be up. So, long story short, that's kind of my philosophy there. And obviously these YieldMax funds play into this significantly. Let's see how we're doing on comments here. I expect to have a backlog here. I got 22 of you on. All right. Oh, you're in Vegas. Greetings from Viva Las Vegas. I was just there last month. Can't wait to go again. You can retire on 75,000 if it sustains. That's the trick. If it sustains. Just collected 14,000. Wow, that's what I'm talking about. Good for you. And TSLY, OARK, NVDY, and APLY dividends. Love it. Well, that'll offset your Danaher position. By the way, I wanted to talk to you about that one too, because I'm still in that one, and it's probably just going to go worthless at this point. So my meta option, by the way, here's the funny thing, the irony. The meta option turned out to be my biggest option win ever, which I just closed out today. So I should be all smiles, right? I should be ecstatic. But because I sold it in the morning instead of in the evening, or not evening, the market's not open in the evening, but because I sold it in the morning, it cost me another probably $4,000. So, I mean, I should be ecstatic about my biggest option win ever, but I could have had another $4,000 on top of it. So, needless to say, and this is the funny thing. If you all read that comment, I posted a community post about it. So we'll look that up in a second because I'll go over that. Yeah, that's like jackpot, Damon. Good for you. Really good for you. 14,000. So that's like per month for you. And you're rolling. You're like what everybody wants to aim for. Oh, but what I wanted to say about Danaher, okay? Welcome, Brevis. That's your new name. I keep on losing track of all your names. I know you said you're trolling somebody, right? Hopefully that other channel. I need somebody to troll that other channel. Not really. If y'all want to, you can. I don't care. Almost sold all of my OARK for more TSLY and NVDY. Didn't though. Sold my APLY for more TSLY. That's not a bad move. I don't think I want to get into the other ones. I want to just get into TSLY. But one of you, or several of you, I can't remember now, but some of you have pointed out a very valid point. So Tesla stock is up $100 in the last month, but TSLY is only up like $2 a share. And I know it's because of the option strategy. and I'm going to try to get Jay back on so that he can explain that again. I've actually reached out to him again. I wanted to try to have him on today, but I didn't hear back from him, so I'll see when we get him on. But anyway, what I'm trying to say about Danaher, Damon, so you're still in it. You got a lot of time. You were up 5 today. Here's what I need your help making sense of, because maybe I don't know options as well as I think I do. And I'm going to show this on the screen here because you're absolutely right. Danaher stock was up $5 a share today. But for some reason, my position in Danaher dropped. And I have no idea why. I don't understand why at all. It went down another $100 when the stock was up. It makes no sense. The stock's up $5, but my position dropped $117. Yeah. I'm looking at it. I talked about it Monday. Monday? I'm losing. No, it was Tuesday. I'm trying to do the stream like every other day, but riddle me that one there, Damon. How did my position drop? I'm in the September 15th expiring one. How did my position drop when Danaher stock was up $5 a share? I looked at the theta. The delta is still higher than the theta. So I don't understand what the heck happened. Never seen it. Oh, yeah, you're right. It went down because of implied volatility shift and theta decay. But the theta is not, it's not that high. What am I going to do with this one? Should I stay in? I hate getting into this. I've had this happen so much. I feel like I should be further along with how I manage these. I can't keep taking these 100% losses on some of these. I mean, they do offset, but what ends up happening, it ends up being all this work for nothing because these big wins and then these big losses, they end up offsetting each other and then it becomes a wash, basically. But yeah, you're right. Implied volatility, that's a 27%, but it should have still, like once the stock goes up higher, the delta moves up too. So theta is a little high on this one. It's 1685 per day, but the delta is 50.39 because I have, and this was stupid of me probably, but I paired down. So I got 5 more contracts. So I have 15 contracts total. I don't know. I guess I don't know what I'm doing on that one, but in the same day, I had my biggest option win ever. So go figure. How about that one? Okay. So thank you for explaining that. I skipped over some stuff here. Getting a lot of good comments here. We may go over an hour today easily. Got a lot to cover, like I said. Yeah, I'm going to get on the clip bandwagon eventually. Now that I freed up some cash, I freed up probably 20 grand today. So got to spend it now, right? And I like spending money on things that make me more money. That's my favorite way to spend money. You'll get me to the front of the line. Like, you know how like some people, the saying money burns a hole in your pocket. For me, it burns a hole when I can buy something that's going to make me more money. I'm at the front of that line. I'm sprinting to the front. So, all right, yeah, we'll be doing that. Just picked up my first 100 shares of NVDY. Good for you. Haven't seen you on in a couple of streams here. Without looking at it, my first guess is IV Crush. Spot on. It was confirmed right below. Are we all averaging up while getting more shares of TSLY? That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow it and see if there's a little bit of a move. I was watching today, but in my one account, I have to, clear certain trades and whatnot. So I don't know if I'm going to make a move tomorrow or next week, but I am going to get more TSLY. I've certainly got to get more of it. And I'm thinking probably at least 10,000 more. So that would be, and I don't have any in the Roth, but like one of you pointed out, having it in the Roth is like cheating because no tax, right? It's beautiful. No tax. Make all this money for no tax. That's what AOC and company would be ticked off about that, right? So another 10,000 would get 610 shares approximately. So 610 times 80 cents a share, that would be another $488. That would pay a couple of bills, right? That'd be another 6,000. So you know what I'm really itching to do? I'd like to take like 100,000 and put it into this and just get that like full-time income coming. It would just like, I don't know, it would get me off to say, wow, I'm making a full-time income in dividends. I've never been able to actually say that before as a dividend investor, so that would be awesome. So anyway, long story short, that's my plan. All right, Brevis. Yeah, my friend thinks NVDY will be higher yield than TSLY when it gets a full month. Not sure though. We'll find out. Is your friend's name Breadhead? Like you could be Brevis and Breadhead? Just a little play on words there. Oh, Glenn Furs is on. Hello all. Patrick, who's Patrick? Your plan got me thinking about putting a massive amount in TSLY and using the dividends to buy SVOL. You mentioned using a stop loss. Oh, yes, someone by the name of Patrick, I believe, did say that, right? That's right. Yeah, I saw him on before. By the way, where is Jose? I haven't seen him in a while. I'm getting kind of concerned. You mentioned using a stop loss or trailing stop limit. Dora Gunner, the Coinbase ETF coming could be volatile with crypto market cycles and the lawsuit against Coinbase. You know, I got some free Bitcoin out of them. I got like $100 worth of Bitcoin because of back in 2021, they locked our accounts as a precaution. And as an apology, I got $100 worth of Bitcoin. And I'm not always one that necessarily jumps out of my way to accept apologies, you know, especially if they're not needed. But apologies that come in the form of that, I'll jump to the front of that line for that. Like if somebody wants to apologize with $100 of something, by all means, apology accepted, right? So, all right, 35 of you on. Good deal. So that one's coming next. Retiring in 9 months. Well, good for you because of TSLY. Well, I hope it stays the same. So moving out of country. Well, that's why you said expat, right? Isn't that kind of what an expat does? Are you still in the US now or are you international? I mean, honestly, if they were to do certain things here, I'd move internationally too. You know, hopefully it doesn't come to that, but you know, I would not close the door on that. Which are you using? What percentage would you be getting out at? Who are you asking that to? I'm not sure. Oh, you all are having a conversation. Oh, I'm sorry, you mentioned Vegas. Yeah, of course, Patrick. It's in all caps too. So I should know that by now. So that's what I did. I had a 1604 stop loss, and yesterday it triggered. Good idea. So right now I'm out, but we'll get back in day before next ex dividend date. I think I skipped over some comments above here. Let's see here. Yeah, the engineer said something good here. They're in the middle of a price war, terrifying losses. I think the best choice is to wait until their margins begin expanding again. But we are here for options tonight, so don't let me distract you. Well, you might be here for options, but the majority of the audience, like if I do an options video, it gets maybe a third of the views. Just look at my meta options. You would think with a thumbnail, this is what I don't understand about YouTube, okay? Because you would think with a thumbnail that says turn 5,000 into 20,000, you would think that would go viral on that alone, right? But because it's not talking about dividends, it will not get a third of the views as the dividends. Just look at the views after all. These all get 500 views by now, which by the way, I'm ecstatic about. A year ago, this was like my dream to get that many views. But an options video will barely crack 100, which a year ago I would have been happy about that too. Don't get me wrong, because I remember the days where I would have a video and I'd have like a drought. I'd call it. I'd have a dry streak, and I'd say, "All right, when is a video going to crack 100 again?" That was like a running joke, you know. So okay, what were you talking about? Tesla? Like I don't know actually what stock you were talking about because I skipped around. So okay, got that one. Definitely wanted to get your comment in there. Vegas, yeah, it's jackpot. It's like you might as well be in Vegas with those kind of gains, right? The house always wins, though. Okay, let me scroll back down here. Circle back here to let's see where we were. Let's see here. I'm out, but we'll get back in the day before next ex dividend date. Yeah, that's a good strategy. I used the purchase price I bought originally for TSLY. Honestly, didn't think it would go down to that level, which it did for 3 minutes, but it triggered. Oh, yeah, it did kind of. I saw it because I was trying to follow. I was working too, but I tried to follow it because I was looking to get back in. I thought it dropped to like 1630 something because I was almost ready because it did move a lot today actually. And I noticed these move a lot in the after hours too. Okay, this month we are all regretting not putting everything into TSLY, only if, but you never know. That's the thing. We were 44 cents last month. So see, that's the thing. As volatile as this thing is, if you have like What do I have? 885 shares, right? Or some 888. I'll have to look again. I basically got $750 in dividend today. I think that's my biggest single day dividend from any fund ever. 2 milestones in a day. How about that? I should be all smiles, right? Anyway, but see, the thing is, for those shares, say you have 825 shares, okay? At an 80-cent dividend, that's $660, right? But when it drops to 44 cents, your income just cut in half. So, I mean, this is a risky deal. And you may still want to be in the stock too, because look at what Tesla stock has done, or be in the options. Because if you were in Tesla options, which silly me, I should have been in, I'm in one that's also going to be worthless because that was a dumb move last August. But had I got in the beginning of this year, it'd be a different story. It's all timing. So, all right. Yeah, that's the thing. It's all, what if. Hog Farmer, are you new? Have you subscribed? I hope so. I've been looking to add a hog farmer to the audience, so I finally have now. So everything's going right today all of a sudden. I've actually thought the same thing, selling a $100,000 property and putting it all in TSLY. What kind of property is $100,000 though? You're not going to find any properties for that. I mean, unless it's like a parcel of land or something. I mean, it's just in this day and age, you might have like some kind of a luxury car that's worth that, but that's the thing. It's tempting, I will say, for a house, say 300,000-400,000. It's tempting to just YOLO it all into that. So you like Clip, only 69 shares. Oh, good number. You picked a good number there. Getting to the point of being able to live off dividends goes faster than you think, especially with these. I started it by putting 24% of my income into options. Why 24%? Why not pick an even number like 25%? I use the profits from the options to buy dividend stocks. Nice. Like I said, you definitely seem to know what you're doing. By the way, like I said, speaking of everything going right, we may hit a record audience tonight. Everybody's all excited about these dividends, huh? All right, the engineer, THB. I still recommend reading Mind Over Markets. I'll have to look that one up. Where's the time to read all this stuff, though? Especially having a restless mind like mine. That means I got to sit still and read. I'll try it. What I'll do, I'm going to start recording audiobooks, and that'll help because then that'll actually make me read. Most of my reading, my daily reading, is reading you all's comments. That's how I get my daily reading, and that or putting subtitles on. I don't watch much TV, but I get plenty. I feel like I get plenty of reading in just from daily activities. But you're right, I do need to read that one. Who wrote that, by the way? Because that sounds like a psychology of markets kind of a book. I'm gonna look that one up. Just since you mentioned that, I'm gonna look it up. Let me see something here. Got a lot going on. Got a ton to do. I may end up. I'm not gonna sell my house, but I may rent it. Talk about cash flow. That'd be nice. Could be another 30 grand in cash flow per year. But the thing is, I know I'm going to be fixing stuff. So what will I net? That's the trick. It's like any business decision. What are you going to net? You can't focus on the gross. It's what you're going to net. I mean, I'll come out positive, I'm sure, but I know I will. But what am I actually going to net? That's the thing. So, all right, where's the freaking search bar on Amazon here? Mind Over Markets. It really is a discipline. Is this by James Dalton? $46. Outrageous. I've got to check it out at the library or something. Is that it right there? That's like one of the most expensive books I've seen. That's like a freaking textbook. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, all right, Door Gunner. I need to learn how to sell options for sure. Well, we can go into that. What we can do for the second half of this video, we can have kind of like an options workshop. We just hit 40 live viewers. Awesome. I think we're 2 or 3 away from a record. Darian Dooley, another new person. Are you subscribed? We're about to hit another milestone, which we could hit on this live stream. We're really moving up in the world here. Let's see here. I got some funny ones. All right, we're at 1756. We're 4 away from 1760. So number 1760 you get to name yourself 1760, which is funny because, just a week ago, we hit number 1660 and somebody actually made their name 1660. They put the number 1660 in their name. So we moved up by 100 in just a week. So that's awesome. Let's keep it going for sure. The month of June, we're only halfway through, but we're blowing past like my previous months as a channel. Pretty much every metric, maybe except for ad revenue, every metric has pretty much blown past the prior month. So speaking of side income, that's all, it's part of the big plan, right? Multiple streams of revenue, dividends, at least for me, ad revenue, rental income. This is all, it's all part of wealth building. This is like the dream, right? Is TSL, so back to your actual question, is TSLY a good price to buy right now? Well, you want me to get my 8-ball? Because I don't know. I'll answer that if you subscribe, but you got to confirm to me that you subscribed, and I got to see the count jump by 1. So since I don't know, I'll be right back. All right, believe it or not, so I know you all really, look up to me and stuff. I'm the coach after all, and you all think I'm smart and stuff, which I like to believe I am too. But for most of my investment decisions, when I'm trying to figure out like just a yes or no judgment call, I actually use the 8-ball. So let's see. Let's ask for him because he asked, is TSLY a good price to buy right now? Let's see if this works. Let's see. Uh-oh. This is kind of old, so the little triangle doesn't always show up. Uh-oh. You want the answer? You only get the answer if you subscribe. Otherwise, I'm holding it back from you. And I'm going to skip down and see if you answered. I expect a subscription. Oh, you are? Okay, wait. Is that? Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm just teasing you a little bit. All right, the answer is, are you ready? You're probably not going to be able to see this, but it says, outlook not so good. Now, here's the thing. When the 8-ball gives you an answer you don't like, what do? Well, you have to kind of come up with your own answer if you don't like the answer that the 8-ball gives you. So do I think the outlook's not so good for TSLY? I have to disagree with the 8-ball in that regard. So I have to look at, that's a piece of it. 8-ball investment decisions are a piece of gathering all information you can, including the 8-ball sometimes. Just don't knock the 8-ball into the hole before the other ones, or else you'll lose the game. So okay, to answer your question, I think it's a little high for me personally. I'd feel more comfortable like if it dropped. I'm kind of waiting to see what it's going to do next week. If it were to drop 50 cents, I'd feel a little bit better about buying into it. So there we go. All right, so thank you for subscribing. You did say that you did, and I'll take your word for it. So anyone new on here, a warm welcome to the channel, to THB Nation. Just remember to click that subscribe button. You want to be permanent members of the THB Nation, right? So, all right, we're still at 1756. I want TSLY at all prices. I just want more shares. Well, see, for me, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of buying up. I like to buy down, but buying up, I'm not a huge fan of. Let me see. Should I buy up? Let's see what it says. Oh, it's stuck on the same one. It's not always reliable. What do you all think about making investment decisions this way? I better stop this. I'm losing people on the live stream. We got to have a little fun. See, the other channel doesn't have this much fun. That's the thing. He's got more subscribers, but he doesn't have this much fun. God, this thing's getting old. What's it trying to say? What's it trying to say to me? Uh-oh. Something doubt. So, all right. Enough of the 8-ball. We'll get to other stuff here. Oh, look who's on. Big Lance. Uh-oh. I knew I had the 8-ball, but I've got other props too, like the space helmet. So just in time, because apparently we have a space helmet question. So as it goes, space helmet questions are only asked by space cadets. So if we were in person, you would have to put on the space helmet and ask the question. And you'd have to, put the helmet up and ask your question through the helmet, since it's a space helmet question, space cadet. So that's a little bit of a running joke we've had on this channel. But since he's got a space helmet question, well, let's see how dumb or not dumb it is. What's a trailing stop limit? Like a trailing stop loss, right? Like you're gonna set that. I know what it is, but I actually need to figure out myself how to set them because it would help me with some of my positions, paring them down. All right, so that's not too bad of a question. I mean, not everybody on here is going to know that. Because of their diminished upside during the moves of the underlying, we should all be selling covered calls against our yield max positions. Hey, here's an idea. How about type some examples of some of that? Because I agree with you, but just give us some examples. I'm going to go over some sample trades too, by the way. So don't use stops. You are literally asking the market makers to swing the price down so they can fill you. The cake is a lie. That's a good point. I've had that feeling too when I've sold covered calls. I've actually had that feeling like I'm battling, I'm playing chess against a master computer, All right, Hog Farmer. I have single family rental, 17 homes. Where at? You want to pitch your little rental properties to the audience? A fine number indeed. I need to learn about options, and I need to learn more about options. On a day that I had my biggest win in options, imagine that. And I'm not ecstatic about it because, like I said, I could have had $4,000 more on top of it. One can never have enough shares of TSLY. Now, one thing I want to emphasize to you all, because this is the thing, I'm not somebody that's going to come on here and only tell you about my wins. I've had plenty of option losses, like Damon knows. I've had a big one in Danaher, which worked out for me 2 other times, but it moved against me. So when I come on here and tell you all I had this biggest option win and whatnot, I don't want you all to think, oh wow, he's rolling. Trust me, that offsets a lot of other dumb trades that I've done. So hitting a big options home run or grand slam is just that. But to hit that, this may not be the best analogy, but for those of you that follow baseball, you've had a lot of strikeouts. If you're a batter, think of it. If you're trading is like you're at bats. If you're like a grand slam or a home run hitter, and trust me, our local team, the Rays, we've had a lot of those. Like you'd almost rather have the base hits to drive in runs, but some of these hitters just hit big home runs, but they're striking out a lot more. So guess what that means? Their batting average is lower because they're hitting like grand slams and home runs, but those come fewer and farther between. So that's the best analogy I can give to how my options are working, but I'm getting better at it every day. But I'm a little mad at myself because, like I said, it's a psychology, it's a mind game. And I did the very thing that I told myself I wasn't going to do. And I'll show you all that. Stay tuned here. 42, I think we tied a record. So we're going to get into that here. This is kind of like I'm getting like a TV show here. I've got to hold you all in suspense a little bit. Not suspense because we're having fun, of course. But yeah. Where am I on the comments here? Okay, you said that one. I need to learn options. Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to get better at it. One can never have enough shares of TSLY. Maybe not. So the options workshop is coming. Context NOP. Oh, welcome. What's up, everybody? The coder, right? Oh, somebody else new. David Guvaya. Hey, everyone new to the channel. Really enjoying the content thus far. Well, good. Happy to have you. Did you subscribe, by the way? We could hit a milestone here. Darian subscribed. So you want to be like everybody else, right? My $100,000 rental brings $950 a month minus taxes and insurance. What kind of place is only $100,000, or like what state are you in? I'm wondering now. Like, is it like a mobile home or something? So $950 a month minus taxes and insurance. I mean, that's pretty good. But like you're pointing out, you could do a lot better if you put that into TSLY. And here's one for you that I'll throw out. And this is very tempting. But the only thing is, if I was to sell my current house, I want to have a place to come back to if I need to. By the way, Hog Farmer, since you filled a long time goal, so you fulfilled a long time goal of me. I always wanted to have a hog farmer as part of my audience. Now I have one, so you're kind of important to me. So I have an important question for you. So you being a big rental guru, I want to know, I need to find some management companies because I'm looking to rent my current place out. And what I want to do, it's going to be kind of unique. I'm probably going to leave a lot of my furniture behind with the place, and I want a really good airtight agreement to where the renters, like, they can't damage anything. They have to, like, keep everything in the condition that it's in. But I want to be able to leave stuff. I'm going to halfway furnish the place for them, basically, because where I'm going to go, I'm not going to need new furniture, basically, without forecasting my next move fully, because it's not set in stone. But just between me and you, give me some feedback on that, because I need to find some good management companies, and I'm in Florida, by the way. So, but yeah, here's the thing: 400,000. Say your house is worth 400,000. So say 4 times what you're talking about, right? If you were to have bought into Tesla at say $15, bunch of sixes in that number. Wow. So that would be 26,666 and change, um, and 80-cent dividend. That would be producing you 21,000 a month. So you talk about cash flowing your investment, assuming, for simplicity's sake, assuming that you own. Dang, why did I just lose 5 of you? That's a little disappointing. Oh, you'll come back, I guess. But okay, so cash flowing your place, right? 21,000 is a lot better than the 2,500 or so that you might take in and rent, right? So that's a way to look at it too. Anyway, good points, everybody. Got a lot of good comments coming in. Yeah, you're new. Probably not the newest, but you are new. Mind Over Markets is by Jim Dalton. Yes, that's the book. Warning, very dry, not to be read right before bedtime. Oh, okay. It puts you to sleep, basically. I am already subscribed. Yeah, you told me. Thank you. Got my 1,000 TSLY shares at 13.94. Yeah, you bought in after the earnings in April, probably. Holding some funds back for AMZY. That's one that I might do too. But I'm starting to think that I may actually want to get into the stock too. I'm starting to think that. So I've got to see. Here's what happens with investing. Another thing, because I had a lot of profound thoughts today. I was really doing something because I looked over my new 401k, and believe it or not, I rebalanced it today, because come to find out, and I was really disappointed actually. I'm underperforming the market. I'm only up like 11% in my 401k when the Nasdaq is up like 28%. And here's what happened. So when I picked funds in October 2022, that was like at the bottom of the market. So I picked, partially assuming things would recover, but I picked what I thought were good funds. I picked the S&P 500. I picked my company stock fund. I picked, we didn't have a large cap fund, which is weird. We didn't have a large cap fund like my old company did. I'm still big into that one in my other 401k. But in this one, we had like a Russell 3,000 and then a Russell 1,000. And I tried to pick based on like the tech companies, because that one used to be roaring in the last 5 years or so. So that one's doing okay, but it's up like 14 or 15%. And then the other ones are up like, and then I got into like a bond fund and then like a real estate fund. And then the company stock fund are only up like 8%. So my blended rate of return, come to find out, lo and behold, is like 11%. And my other one, the return in my other one's like 16 or 17%. But what's ironic, and this is what cracks me up, because like I say, I do better for people that I help for some reason. If you all can believe that, I guess that shows what a good person I am, right? Anybody that I kind of like help or give, pointers to, they end up doing better, because there's a couple of them that I've gone over and they're up like 25 or 30% in their 401k. And here I am sitting here and I'm up like 11% in one and 17% in the other. So you can imagine how that makes me feel. So I rebalanced into this Russell 3000. I rebalanced more into the S&P company stock. And then I kept the Russell 1000, I think, which Russell is a little bit of a misleading name. They're BlackRock funds, basically. But they're large cap. They're not quite large cap, but I looked at the underlying holdings and it's close to what I want. It's not like an exact match, but it's close. But if you all can believe that, that's what tends to happen. I actually do better for other people than I do for myself, which is weird, but it is what it is. I guess it shows what a good person I am, right? It'll pay off, karma, it'll come back to me some way or another. All right. Trailing stop limit is a stop that trails the stock price as it moves up. Yeah, pretty spot on. As the price moves up, so does the stop. Do you do buy or sell options? I heard selling is the best. You probably heard that from another member of the audience. I'll get into that because I like both. I still, here's the thing. Okay, opinions do I want to say this? Opinions are like your rear. Everyone has one. My opinion, I really like buying call options, okay, but that's just my opinion. I would say there's no right or wrong when it comes to this. Some people love selling options. I like it too, but I'll tell you, I've been burned by it. I got burned by it big last year, almost gave myself a heart attack. And I could go over that if I stay on. We're rolling here, but I'll keep going. We'll have fun. So I'll try to get into all of that. Mike Lorca, good job on the purchase price. Wish I had gotten that. So do I. I got in at 1470, which is not looking too bad now. Oh, there's Jose. Where have you been? Were you on vacation or something? We've missed you. Engineer Blake, with Tesla trading at 255 and YieldMax currently short calls with a strike of 270. You know what? We need to review that too, actually. TSLY is unlikely to go up by very much more than 5.88% by the expiry, which is tomorrow. So ask me again tomorrow. I'll try to do another live stream tomorrow. If not, we'll talk about it over the weekend. They will enter a new position soon, so ask me next stream. Yeah, I would assume so, because isn't June 16th is one of the expiration dates, right? We'll pull that up too. Brevis, coach is not a big fan of Clip, but he'll come around. If you watch my last live stream, I kind of already am, because like you all pointed out to me, that dollar dividend, guess what that happens to be? It happens to be exceeding the 80 cents in TSLY. So think about that. My advice, since you asked, you will never be happy with a rental management company, really. I've never gotten to rent, though. It's like I feel like I've got to experience it at least once. Let me ask you this one. So I'm not anti-renter or anything. Like I've been a renter myself before. I was probably one of the better ones. But I just want to know from your experience, if I rent my place, will I ever be able to live in it again if I need to? That's kind of what I'm worried about. So you said you'll never be happy with a rental management company. I manage my own here in the Texas Panhandle. Oh, we have a Panhandle in my state too. So you can guess where I'm from. I've owned out-of-town rentals before and never been happy with them. Interesting. Good perspective. Selling options. See, here's the guy for you, whatever your name was. This is the guy that loves selling options. Much safer and consistent. Well, you say that, but when I was probably in a dumb trade, to be honest. I was in Mercado Libre. I had like 10 contracts of Mercado Libre somehow. I guess I got a hair up my ass and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this crazy, because I saw you know what it is? E-Trade, you can play around with the different premiums and it projects to you what you can collect. And when I saw like, holy shit, I can collect 30,000 in premium, I got all excited. But the thing is, when that thing moves against you, you've got to get out of it quick. The funny thing, had I held, I'll go over all these one day. Had I held it like another day, there was a chance I could have made like 25,000 on it, but that's how quick that stock moved. But it freaked me out. So you're saying it's safe, but I kind of go back and forth on it. You just need to learn how. I do about 16,000 a month just selling puts and covered calls. See, I feel like you got to stay on it constantly. That's the thing. You got to watch it constantly. Whereas when you buy, your maximum loss is whatever you put in. It's just gone, worst case scenario. Whereas the other one, you're short, so you could completely over leverage yourself, which you got to be careful about. Context NOP, I'm in multifamily syndications. It's been nice to be completely passive and hands off. Oh, how does that work? Awesome job, Damon. I'd buy a course from you. Well, before you buy a course from one of my audience members, you got to buy a course from me first, right? Which means I actually have to sell a course. I do sell free super chat features, so that works too. But we'll get to a course soon. By the way, since I'm starting to get so many comments, I would say, and a couple of you have done this already, but if you want to prioritize, if you want your comment to get like priority to move up to the front of the line, because the line's starting to grow as the channel grows, the line's getting a lot longer. There will come a day I could just spend an hour responding to comments. So I may end up having to like enjoy this while it lasts, but I may end up only taking comments for people that like super chat me $1 or something. So if you want to get to the front of the line, just remember that feature always works. So you said, I sold CLM, bought TSLY and Meta. What have I done? You bought Meta today? Well, today I closed out of I closed out of my meta, but you sold CLM. What did CLM do today? Let's see. Let's see. CLM. I keep thinking of that cleaner. That was CLR. By the way, we did hit a record briefly. We hit 43. That's a record. So I got a clap for that one. Good deal. CLM's another one that you all are in love with, and I don't know why exactly. What do you see in this fund? Just like they say about a person, what do you see in this person? What do you see in this fund? So, see, that's what we finance people do. We fall in love with funds instead of people, or both. We're up 15% since March 16th, since we dropped. So we're up 15%. Um, oh, look at you. My BFF owns state property management out of Orlando. You can trust him. Uh, oh, he's property management? Good, because I need some referrals. So email me. You have my email. Email me. CLM distribution's going down. Okay, if you say so. I thought they were $1. Airbnb your place. I like your thinking, Big Lance, but we actually have an HOA here, and they technically don't allow it. But I have thought about even Airbnb-ing rooms. I just don't know what I want to do, because then I got to have other people here. I got to share space and whatnot. I feel stupid not capitalizing on cash flow over time, of course, but I do know some people in this neighborhood, they do Airbnb their place. It just, so eventually they get caught because there's, I guess, different vehicles in and out all the time. But that's the thing with the HOA. We were trying to do a rental amendment here. I have no problem with Airbnbs. I could see that as a compromise, because what happens, half of the properties here end up getting rented out, basically. So selling puts on X this week. What's X? X marks the spot. We're going to go a while today, folks. U.S. Steel Corporation, 85-cent yield, or not 85 cent, 85% yield. Not too excited about that one. But you know what you're doing, so I trust you. 2186. By the way, I think I mentioned us partnering up or something, doing a course. I'm all for that, by the way. I still have my CLM and CRF and E-Trade. Those are the only stocks I have in there just because of the drip at net asset value, ability that E-Trade executes. The other brokerage, a benefit to E-Trade. Like I said, they ticked me off. You know what irritates me? They send me alerts now for logging into my own account because I have one stock left there that I couldn't move. So I log into my own account and I get an email, I get a text message that says somebody has logged into your account. I'm like, yeah, you fools, it's me. It's ridiculous. Like, what did I do? What did I do to get flagged? So anyway, well, good to know that they do something. I used to really like them, like I said, but their customer service has fallen off over time, in my opinion. Selling OARK for more TSLY. It's final. Well, good for you. LOL. Spread trades. I have done a couple spread trades, and I'm glad you brought that up. I'm actually so glad you brought that up, engineer, because one of the options groups that I'm in, which I haven't gotten much out of, because like I say, well, you get out of it what you put into it. The bread and butter of what they do is spread trades. And they're the ones. I went to the conference in Vegas that we had, and we disagree on our trading philosophies profoundly. And I went over my NVDY example and they were kind of laughing at me, but guess what? Had I stayed in, like, I would have had the last laugh. And I posted in the Facebook group, I said, hey, this worked. It was risky, but it worked. I seemed like I, at some level, knew what I was doing. But I do get where they're coming from, because more often than not, like I gave the baseball analogy, more often than not, you're not going to hit a grand slam or a home run every time. So, but here's my thing about the spread trades. Okay, so this is what happened to me. I started trying to do those too, and I ended up getting assigned, and I ended up buying, for one, more AT&T than I ever wanted, which in my opinion is a crap stock. And then I ended up buying this Safe Bulkers stock, which pays a decent dividend. But I got into two positions that I didn't want to be in because they ended up getting exercised because they came into the money. And my whole thing about the spread, the idea is that basically you can fund the trade for free because you're collecting premium. But the way it moves, it's like, because you're in one side and the other side like this, you're limiting your profit potential, I feel like. But what they always say in my one group that I'm in, they say, oh, this is a 17% return in so many days and whatnot. And it all sounds great on paper, but I don't know. I guess it doesn't click for me. But since you said that, I do need to. I need to manage. I've got so much I want to do. I need to manage my time better, find some focus somehow. These last 6 months, just I've been kind of, since I've been out of school and stuff. Like, I don't know. It's been kind of a restless time for me. Been on several trips, been doing a lot more and stuff like that. But I need to get back on it for sure. A lot of money being left on the table. That's for sure, especially with NVIDIA. So you have, on rare occasions, found stocks in the $4 to $5 with really high volatility. You could enter ratio put spreads on where the break even was at zero. Again, type in some examples for us, because I agree with you. I just want to see, like, I want to look over a good example, which I've been promising for probably the last half hour. I'm going to get into some examples here in a second. I'm so far behind on the comments. I'm about to the point here where the next month I'm gonna have to read your comments. You are gonna have to, like, super chat me something pretty soon here. I do enjoy doing this. I'll go as long as I can, but the channel's starting to get popular. As you see, we've hit another record, So, okay, I read that one. I'm into, long time no see, Jerry Eaton. I'm into real estate syndications also, but most require you to have accredited investor status. How does that happen? I'm a YouTuber. Shouldn't that make me an accredited investor? Let me see. 8 ball. Am I an accredited investor if I'm a YouTuber? What's the 8 ball? Ah, it is certain. There you go. Case closed. CLM is not a dividend trap, if you say so. Just keep repeating it. It's like an affirmation. Keep repeating it. Even do the Jedi mind trick. CLM is not a dividend trap. All right. Even if TSLY is 44 cents, by the way, just broke a record, 43. Even if TSLY is 44, next stop is 44. That's what, 36% or so? It is. You're right. I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, where are you going to find a 36% dividend rate of return? It is phenomenal. Where are you going to find that unless it's Icon Enterprises when it was crashing, or fracking companies, right? But that's what OARK is paying on a normal month. Is it? It's not too bad, like I've said. CLM is good if you can drip at NAV. Schwab won't let me. Hog Farmer, CLM pays dividends at the net asset value, which is lower than current stock price. All right, what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to just have to stop reading comments because I'll end up spending the whole stream doing this. So, got a lot of tightwads here that don't want to super chat me. That's what it's going to end up coming to, though. Let me go over some actual trades now. So let me tell you all about this Meta trade that I keep talking about. Okay, so for those of you that followed, this is what Meta did today. All right. Meta closed up $8.48. At the peak, it was actually up more than that. It was up $10. So here's what happened, and this is where the psychology, and I think a lot of you that have been following me, the whole, this is a saga, basically, that the whole saga, the whole story on this, right? So I got into this one last year. I knew that the 5 former FANG stocks, like Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google, the end should be NVIDIA, honestly. I did this for NVIDIA, Tesla, and Meta, basically. I didn't do it for Amazon because I had another trade earlier in the year that didn't pan out. So didn't do it for Apple either. But Meta turned out to be the best one of the 3. NVIDIA sold way too soon. Probably could have had 20 grand in profit on that one. Closed out for an 85% gain, which I've gone over in another video that I'll link to. I got to remember to do that. But Meta turned out to be the best win. I probably put 5,500 into Meta options last August, I want to say. And here's how that went. So the funny thing, by the time we got to October or November, I was kind of feeling like a fool, which is funny because I just realized I got into, I don't even know what I'm telling this. I'm giving a history lesson here, but I got into Facebook stock years ago, and it did something similar. It dropped like in half, and it was one of the first stocks I ever bought, and I felt foolish. So the options kind of did the same thing. Just a little irony there. I see patterns and things sometimes. Sometimes I find patterns and stuff. That's just me, just my craziness, I guess. But so yeah, that kind of mirrored my experience with the stock, which is funny. But as you all can see, in the last year, we're up 66% in Meta. Year to date, we're up 126%. So, needless to say, the 5,500 that I put into 8 contracts for Meta, uh, more than 3x. Which most people, when you more than 3x, most people are ecstatic about. But here's what happened for me, and this will be a lesson to all of y'all. So if it had 3x, that'd be 16.5. Did better than that actually. I think the gross was like 17.6 on it. So minus 5,500, that was like a 12 grand profit basically. Here's the thing though, I sold it at like 11 a.m. Guess what? The market still had 5 hours of trading left. So in the next 5 hours of trading, guess what? Meta stock kept running, which is funny because it did exactly what I said it was going to do. But here's what happened. I'm not going to say I didn't listen to myself. What happened after June 1st, and I'm surprised Hoffman's not on because he's very familiar with the situation because he was kind of roughing me up for not closing it back on June 1st. I said, I'm going to leave it open a couple weeks. I think we're going to have a good day in it. Well, that good day came today. Well, what I did when I saw that it broke past 275, and this is where I guess I fail at technical analysis because I saw that it broke past 275 and I've got all these things I've learned instilled in me, right? I've got all these, all right, 275, that's like the 52-week high. It breached the 52-week high. That's like support and resistance, right? So I'm thinking, all right, close it. It was at like 18.3. I ended up somehow losing $600 in the fill price, which ticked me off too. Because here's what happened. And the way to calculate options, do we have? Oh, we do have the options chain here. Perfect. This may be a good replacement for Yahoo Finance. Let's see if this comes up though. All right, we're gonna have a fun workshop here, people. So, all right, let me get through this and then I'll get back to comments. We just look here. Wow, lots of comments, lots of them. It's going to get to the point, like I said, I can't read them all in one live stream. Okay, so here's the one I was in. So pay close attention, take notes, get out your notebooks, notepads, tablets, whatever you need to do. So the one I was in was the September 15th expiring option at a strike price of 275. So that's going to be, it's got all the strikes on here. So that's going to be over here. So as you all can see, this one was up 25.88% in one day. The bid and the ask, which is where you get filled in between, the ask was 27. So I cashed this one out. I cashed it outside, like the famous meme. I'm just kidding a little bit. I cashed it out at 23.40. So it ran up another $3.30 or so. $3.35. And that $3.35, here's how you calculate that. 8 contracts, right? So it's 335 times 800. So that was another $2,700 in potential profit that could have been added to it. Now, I'm not all that upset because, like I said, this was the biggest win. But in the intraday, this got up to like 2,750 times 800. Wait a second. Am I doing something wrong? Oh, wait a second. I'm sorry. 2,750 minus 2340 is 410 times 800. There you go. So the max profit that could have been had today was about another 3280. Let me see if that's right. No, that's not, because I could have closed this for like a $22,000 gross profit instead of 17. So somehow, wait a second. I calculated it was like 22. Hold on, 22,400 minus 17,650 or so. So it was basically like $4,000 more that could have been had if this went perfectly. Could have been another $4,000 basically. So that's why I'm not all smiles, on this one. I'm happy about it, but like I said, and you watch it now, and we'll do another video in another month. You watch this thing keep running now, just like in the video. I have that feeling because, like I say, psychology. Don't get me wrong. Like they say, a bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush, right? For you Vegas people. But, well, this is more than 1 bird versus 2. This is a lot. But Like I said, it offsets a lot of bad trades too. But and like I say, watch it in another month or so. Watch it run up even further. That could very well happen. Hmm. So did I explain that one well? It's hard to have a lot of visuals here. And like I said, I need to get a screenshot of the think back. The think back is one of my favorite features. Instead of like some people, they reminisce about the past and whatnot. I like to do it when it comes to trades that could have been had. You know, that's what happens. So anyway, watch this one run up, like I say, within the next 2 months. Because what I tend to do is, like I say, I'm glad I cashed it out. I would feel really, really dumb if I had let this like drop. Like if we had another debt ceiling issue or something that spooked the markets, and say this dropped and I lost the whole gain, which has happened before. Had that happen in a PayPal one. Um, I'm glad that didn't happen. But like I said, there was more meat on the bone. Meat was left on the bone, and that's not good. There's people around the world that go hungry, so you don't want to leave meat on the bone, right? Anyway, best analogy I could come up with there. Look at all you stingy people. None of you super chatted me yet. Unbelievable. Wow. Anyway, I'm not going to sit here and shamelessly solicit that. But all right, let's get back to some comments here. Hopefully, I explained that one well. Um, CLM is good if you can drip at net asset value. Schwab won't let me. Really? What's the deal about dripping at net asset value? I know there's some kind of a gain, but it's kind of like I feel like picking the right bid versus ask, like getting filled. Like you want that, you're trying to squeeze out that perfect profit margin, right? It's similar. Hog Farmer says CLM pays dividends at the net asset value, which is lower than current stock price. Okay, 32.3%. I'm going to try to go rapid fire here because I got a lot of these. I'm in 4 syndication groups with a non-accredited status. Luckily, I did my due diligence and it's worked out. Hey, I did my due diligence too, huh? With the minimum investment of 50,000, it starts to add up nicely. You'll have to explain that because I'm not sure how that works with syndicated groups. Is that like a hedge fund? Is that like private equity or what? Brevis, thanks. I was close. Forget Airbnb. Find a quick quiet. Is there such a thing? I graduated from UT, so you got a lot of rich, wild people there. You know what's funny? You're going to get me on another side story here, but I feel, for my age group, I feel kind of out of place because I guess the way I was raised, well, society is leaning more and more towards debt, and that's what they're driving us towards with inflation. And there's a book I could recommend for you all to read, the book about the Bitcoin standard. It talks about that, how the system is massively dependent on debt. So here I am ranting, side rant again, so just brace yourselves. But yeah, I'd recommend reading that book, The Bitcoin Standard, because it talks about, and this was when crypto was really booming, but it talks about a way we could move past the current system, which was kind of inspirational in a way. But what's happening, to Engineer Blake's point, I know they exist because I was probably leaning more towards that than not. But I feel like everybody kind of grows up, like nobody does without anymore. Everybody's like, whether it's debt finance, where their parents give them money, everybody lives the life now, one way or another. And there's a lot of experiences I went without. And, people older, like seasoned, people that have lived life and stuff, they'll tell me, oh, you're better off. You're better off for it, but you see this and you start scrolling social media and whatnot, and it gives you that, like, wow, this is what I've missed out on. But anyway, all right, in rant. So, quiet college student with a full class load and rent them a room. Yes, somebody that actually studies and is not like a partier and whatnot. I do know they exist. All right, CLM dividend payout, or I could just find a bunch of partiers and just make up for lost time, right? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the future holds. CLM dividend payout ratio is minus 177%. Is that a typo? Minus 177%? It's just a matter of time before they cut it. I'll have to pull that up. CLM is 0.12. I think I saw that. So I don't know what's the allure with all of you all. SVOL dividends also sliding down, holding 2,000 shares of at. What's at? I'll have to look this one up now. Let's see here. At Walker. There's no at. You mean AT&T? Is that what you mean? Yeah, SVOL is always 32 cents. Depending on your place and amenities, you can seasonally rent your place January to May-ish. You got the wheels turning in my head now. What kind of management company can do that for me, though? I don't want to come back to a destroyed place. That's my thing, because there's a couple of units in the community that's happened to, and some of the people, like I would say, it couldn't happen to a nicer person. Some of these people are quite greedy, so you can't shed too many tears over them coming back to a destroyed place. But I'm not that way, so I don't want that to happen to me. But yeah, it's a good idea there, Big Lance. Thanks for that. That's like a reverse Space Cadet idea. It's actually a very good idea. AT&T, that's what I thought. Yeah, it has. See, everybody's on the same page. $T, it's horrible. Absolute. That's like a go woke, go broke kind of a thing. Yeah, it's horrible. It's garbage. I used to really like AT&T when it was like a $45 and paying like an 8% dividend. I went too big into it, But like they say, go big or go home. Well, I already am home, so can't do that. SVOL is good protection if the market. You know what? You're a good dude. This is like your second super chat. You're awesome. So you move to the front of the line, honestly. Yes, I do, and I'm all for. Oh, you know what? Let me put your comment up. You're gonna get a lot of airtime here. I use Zelle. I can use Venmo. I can use Cash App. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm all for one-on-one coaching. Email me. We can set it up. I can do Zoom. However, happy to do that for you. I really appreciate you, Glenn. That's like your second one, so you're awesome. All of our big money finance people. All right, I'm going to star your comment. Your comment is starred. Thank you for that. Yes, for anybody. Now, I do like $50 an hour for coaching, which I think is cheap. Honestly, there's a lot of people that charge a lot more than that. But I'm not greedy. That's the thing. So you're a good dude, though. Thank you. All right. So back to this. Look at all you want like free advice from me. How would you invest 50,000? I'm going to find out. How would I invest 50,000? Do y'all find this funny? I haven't gotten one comment about this 8-ball. The space helmet's a hit, but let me see. I'm going to strategize here. This is what you get for free, George Fritz. Did you subscribe, by the way? I only answer questions for subscribers. What's it saying now? Such a old 8-ball. Well, I just got a super chat. I can afford to buy a new 8-ball for the channel. I could go buy a new one. All right, I make myself laugh. Even if I don't make you all laugh, at least I make myself laugh. That's what's important, right? Look at the freaking triangle. It's like blank. It's coming apart. Darn it. The enamel's coming off of it or something. I think it says outlook good. It's not giving me a detailed answer. We got to figure this out. How do we invest $50,000? We got to get an answer here. All right. Well, darn it. That means I'll have to give you my answer. It depends. My answer is it depends. It always depends, right? Like an economist will tell you. Is 50,000 like if it's all you have to your name, the answer is going to be different than if you have 500,000. If I have 500,000 and I wanted to invest 50,000, I'd be a lot more aggressive, but the answer really depends. It's per person. Like if somebody comes to me and they say, "Hey, how do I invest $10,000?" It depends on your situation. If that's like all you have to your name, I'm not going to have you bet the whole farm, even if you're a hog farmer, you don't want to bet the whole farm. So, all right, we got a lot of you new on here. Let's see. Subscriber count hasn't jumped though. So are you all subscribed to me? I certainly hope so. $50,000 put, half in TSLY, half in NVDY. There you go. Hog Farmer gave you your answer. Well, hey, Jose, thank you for joining. Long time no see. I guess you were indisposed or you were on vacation or something, but hey, thank you for joining. Missed you. So that's as good as Fed policy. I know. This is what, by the way, Jerome Powell, before he does his meeting minutes, this is what he does. This is what the Fed chairman does. He's like, What do I want to do with interest rates? Do I want to cut them or raise them? Keep raising them. Okay. That's how the strategy works. Anyway, all right. Well, I'm glad you guys like that. So thank you for joining. All right. I'm got to go in reverse order here. Found a risk-free options trade. Ooh, is it such a thing? Risk-free option trade? Ride. What ticker is that? That's not Uber. Is that one of these ride sharing? Lordstown Motors. I've never heard of this one. And you know what I say? If I've never heard of it, it can't be any good. Now, wait a second. The earnings per share. I hope you're doing puts on this. You are. You are. Okay. Because the earnings per share is horrible. It's like minus 24. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I'm not even going to add this to my list. Wait a second, though. It's up. It's up 33. Holy cow. It's up 33%. So, all right, you're saying found a risk-free options trade ride January 19th, 2024. Buy one $2 put for 38 cents, sell two $1 puts for 23 cents each, walk away with $8 per trade minimum, $108 maximum gain, poor returns but zero risk. Nice. How is it? I mean, I know you're right, but how is it zero risk again? Because of the spread? I think that's the way it works. I'm still, believe it or not, options are still a little over my head too. Why hasn't Warren Buffett invested in TSLY? He's not very smart. He's an idiot, And Charlie Munger, I don't know where our two women, like I think out of the whole channel, we have got like two women subscribed. No, we've got more than that. I know for a fact we've got two more than that. We had like two women that were actively attending. They're MIA at the moment. But they were both in love with Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's partner, So we had an entertaining discussion on that. I think it had to do with his money, not his looks per se. That's just my guess. Just a hunch on that. But you're right. Yeah, Warren Buffett. Well, what's he doing? He probably does. He's an old dude. He doesn't know about it, I'm sure. All right, so the audience answered that for you. Hope you're subscribed, by the way. The break even is at zero, so unless the shares begin trading for negative dollars, you can't lose. Well, and that's true. They're not going to trade for negative dollars. Okay, good point, engineer. Good point. Really like having you on. You had a lot of insight here. We got to read your article too. Okay, Engineer Blake. Here's one for you. JKS 623 expiring. JKS. Jinko Solar Holding. Never heard of it, and it's on the New York Stock Exchange. 4643. You know what I've wanted to do one day? This was on the bucket list. Not the same bucket list as like traveling the world, but different list. But I've wanted to like just look over all the stocks on the New York Stock Exchange just to kind of like at least look over them once. So I kind of had a working knowledge of everything on the exchange because I really don't at the moment. Obviously, this one's there, but I've never heard of it. So you're saying 623 expiration, $44 strike, 44-cent premium, 45% annual ROI. Nice. Nice. We'll give this comment some more airtime. Deserves it, certainly. Out of 43 of you, one of you super chats me. True. Inflation bro. LOL. Should be 30 the immigration fees. For your moving outside of the US. $60 a month or so. I figure Clip will pay my immigration costs every 3 months. Well, if you were, I don't know if I should say this or not, but I'm going to. If you were coming inside the United States, that would all be covered, right? Cut employees, you mean? Oh, KJK, good. Welcome, welcome. Hey, I reached out to Jay. You're CC'd on the email, by the way. Let me know what he says. I want to get him back on. I wanted to have him on today, actually. You mean TSLY, TSA? I'm going in reverse order here. Same, have a tiny bit of Clip. I may buy in. Like I said, you all kind of convinced me on Clip. Oh, you asked me. There's a button. Glenn could tell you. There's a button. Yeah. So what I mean was TSLY pays way more than OARK, even on bad month. For better or worse, I'm all in on Tesla and NVDY. Nice. So good for you. Well, yeah, Tesla has higher premiums. That's why APLY pays a lot lower. It had lower premiums, right? Okay, so hopefully, where is that button? Glenn could tell you where that button is. I need a bucket. Like if this was like a live performance, I would just do I'd put out like a, like somebody playing their guitar or something. You walk out of a sporting event or something, you have these people performing and they put like a tip jar. And it's like a I need like a tips for the coach. All right. On what subject? So where are we? We're all over the place. LOL. You have too. You know what? I'm gonna star your comment too, because you and Glenn have both super chatted me twice. So God bless you both. Good for you. You all are good dudes. THB, you sound like auctioneer trying to speak your mind, reading the comments. Yeah, well, I need that. Auctioneer is like, over here, I got 1,000, going for 2,000, 2,000, going for 3,000, 3,000. That's my auctioneer's voice. I'm trying to speed it up because there's so many of them. So my Thinkorswim is down right now, so I can't use its IV screener. Why is it down? How dare they have it down? It's not 12 a.m. on a weekend. If someone finds me a ticker with really high volatility, current trading's around $4 or $5, and I will see what I can come up with. Oh, well, you did that below. Down 18% last 1 year, down 35% last 5 years. Yeah, AT&T sucks. Okay, we're all caught up. We merged into the middle there, so we're all caught up now. All right, let's see what we got now. At Damon Rydell, JKS has a really strong support in the $39 to $41 range. I would be selling puts with strikes below $39 unless my goal was to get handed the 100 shares. Sometimes that is the goal. That's what Warren Buffett does when he trades options. Now what I want to do, and I was hoping Hoffman would be on because I want to know, because, people love the Monday morning quarterback, not so much you all. But that's what you get. Like usually when I talk to somebody and I tell them the setup for my meta trade, I can tell somebody that's never traded an option in their life. And you know what they'll tell me? They'll be like, well, you should have known meta was going to keep going up. That's what I'll get from somebody who's never traded an option in their life. And it just infuriates me because it's like, you've never even traded options and you have the nerve to tell me that, It really infuriates me because they make me feel stupid. But here I am, the one that has experience trading options, and somebody that's never touched options, that doesn't even know how to probably do a trade, says, well, you had to know meta was going to go up. That's what usually happens. Monday morning quarterbacking, right? So I should just ask the 8-ball, is meta going to keep going up? Will it go up tomorrow? Let's see. Ask again later. Well, we'll know later. That's such a cheap answer. Ask again later. I'm an 8-ball. That's cheap. That's a cheap answer of you. Ask again later. What is that? We'll know later. Anyway, wow, this is the longest I've had, like 40 of you. I've had 40 of you, like 44, new record. Wow. This late in. Awesome. You all are awesome, by the way. I like how out of 44 of you, one super chats me. What's the percentage on that, by the way? Is that like what's that for a rate of return? If I were like a salesperson, 2% is like worse than a CD. Got to make myself laugh. All right. Let's see. Oh, what I want to do, okay, for the Monday morning quarterbacks out there, of which there aren't too many of you. We've got a good audience, but I'm going to go to the chart and I want you all to tell me if you would have stayed in this one longer, if you saw something that I didn't see. Okay. So let's go to the meta chart here. And let's see. All right, meta. Let me go to the chart. If I can find it. Charting. Here we go. Charting. For 1 day. I should do the candles. How do I do the candles on here? All right. So around 10 a.m. is when I was looking to sell this one. I sold it around like 11, like right in here is when I sold it. Okay. But you see what it did from there on, right? So what I want to know for all of you that are more seasoned option traders than me, would you have stayed in this one or would you have taken the profit at 11 a.m.? How many of you all would have actually stayed in this one and maxed out and sold today? And how many of you would have actually kept it? That's what I want to know. So tell me in the comments. So, John, all right, we got John Doe on here. That's the next person I was hoping would join the THB Nation, John Doe. Such an uncommon name. Just bought into TSLY today for about $2K. Hopefully the juicy dividends stick around. I'm hoping so too, because I'm going to get more in. Nothing good at TV this Thursday. Oh, I thought you were gonna tell me because I've been told this before. Somebody said they cut out like their regular TV for me, which really really made me feel important. That's what I thought you were gonna say. Coach is not a fan of Clip, but he'll come around. That's so funny. I feel like I have a sports team. Like Coach. Yeah, Coach isn't a fan. It's like my starting lineup here. You all that are on, I have the credit card starting lineup, and you all that are on the live stream are like you're like the starters on the team. Of the 17 or almost 1,800 subscribers, 40 of you are like the starters, and then the rest is either the bullpen. Well, the bullpen that's for pitchers, but the rest is like the minor leagues. So price was in the middle of making higher lows, so I would have sold after the first drop at around 12:10 p.m. Good answer. I knew you'd come up with a good answer. I would have sold after the first drop at. Well, here's the funny thing. It dropped when it opened because I was watching it pretty close. It opened way up and then it started fluctuating. So I was like, oh shit, I may miss this one. And then it got back up and I'm like, all right, 275. I felt like that was like, the support and, the whole support and resistance technical analysis. It just breached a 52-week high, but then it kept running. And someone told me too, if stocks, here's the thing about, hold on a second here. All profit is good. Don't beat yourself up. Well, thank you for that. But AOC told me profits are evil sometimes. So I don't know. I agree with you. Just a joke. Anyway, good point here, engineer. Price was in the middle of making higher lows, so I would have sold at first drop. Yeah. But someone told me that here's the thing about when a stock hits its 52-week high. Psychologically, we're like, oh, 52-week high, that means it may drop. Well, guess what? If stocks are not going up, they have for stocks to go up, or good earnings come out. I'm trying to remember how the person put it. They were in my investor group. They're actually a coach too. They said, if you think about it, we all get psyched out when stocks hit 52-week highs, right? But if a stock is not going up consistently, it's not hitting 52-week highs. So you've got to think about that psychologically. That's not such a bad thing, right? Of course, I didn't take my own advice, but thank you for, reassuring me here. Yeah, don't beat yourself up. I'm happy with the gain, don't get me wrong, but it does offset other dumb trades, Good example, like the Tesla one that's going to go to zero. And then I have JP Morgan stock, which, believe it or not, I'm still holding a covered call that I bought last year. You'll like this one, Damon. I'm still holding a covered call from last year that I got from JP Morgan stock at 120 a share. And you see JP Morgan stock's over 140 now. So that I collected like 2,000 in premium. I would have to buy the thing back at like $6,000 now. So I'd lose like $4,000 on it. So when I have a nice options win, like with Meta, some of those other dumb trades offset it real quick. That's the thing. Click inside the chat box on your phone and then click on the dollar sign with the small box on the right. What is this? What, did you try to Venmo me or something? Click inside the chat box on your phone. You mean like go to my live stream? What are you trying to tell me here? Chat box on your phone. What chat box? What are you trying to tell me? You gotta do a follow-up comment here. Meanwhile, I'll go to this one. If stocks break through the 52-week highs, they tend to have enough momentum to keep going. That's perfectly said. That's exactly what I was trying to say. You just said it better. The auction process is like a tug of war. True. All right, where is this chat box on my phone? I'm on my phone right here. I'm looking at the live stream here. Oh, interesting. The number is different. It's 38 on here. It's 35 on here. Interesting. Let me do something here real quick. Click on dollars. Oh, I figured it out. You're telling the other guy how to super chat me. Well, there you go. He told you how to super chat me there, Mr. Vegas. What's your name again? Patrick, in all caps. There, he told you. It's actually easy on the phone. It's actually, yeah, it's right there. See? It's right there at the bottom, that dollar sign right there. See it? Right there? There it is. And you can either do a super sticker or a super chat, preferably a super chat. And the button is free to click. There's no admin fees or anything like that. So YouTube does take like a 30% cut of it. So that's that's a little bit. It's kind of a lot. So all right. Well, what else do you all want to discuss here? There's more that I had, but I'll probably break it into sequel. Let's see here. Somebody unsubscribed from me. Unreal. I can't believe that. Picked up new fans and somebody unsubscribed from me. I'm sad now. I'm gonna cry. I'm just kidding. They'll come back. I thought we would actually gain because we had like 5 new people on the stream. Oh well. Maybe I'm talking about it too much. If stocks break through their 52-week, oh, I read that one already. John Doe, what's your game plan for TSLY? You're gonna keep it a while or dump it when the dividends drop? No, why would I dump it? What's his name? He changes his name so much I forget. Beavis and Butthead. Like he said, even if they cut it in half, it's still like 35%, right? Where are you going to find 35%? Warren Buffett, he's a dumbass. That's probably him. Yeah. I can't believe that though. I'm like, I thought I was going to gain. I thought I was going to hit the next threshold here, because we're close. We're close to 1760. That would be a perfect 100 gained in a week. Anyway, I can't count the number of times I could have made a small fortune had I only decided to walk off and make a sandwich instead of closing a position. See, we've all done the same thing. And you're a smart dude, so we've all done it, right? Anyway, so yeah, game plan for TSLY. Of course, I'm going to hold. I'm going to hold and keep collecting these dividends. It's all good, solid income. And the dividends are high enough, you can get them. You can get them, and what am I trying to say now? You can basically end up getting enough dividends to eventually you're playing with the house's money, right? So that's the plus of that. So yeah, thank you for that reassuring there. You all are a very supportive fan club. Mark Douglas is the best when it comes to trading psychology. Best seminars ever. Are they paid? Like you pay for them, or does he write a book? Does he have any books? That seems like a common name. So does he have any books? I'm gonna end it here pretty soon. I may take another comment or two, but anyway, that's pretty much what we had today. Like I said, nice solid dividends for all of us. And let me know, engineer. Let me know real quick if he has a book or something, because I'm gonna probably end it here. I'll put up my super chat again. Thank you for that. You both are like top fans, of course. I mean, all of you all, but especially you two, because you both have super chatted me twice. You're right about that. Yeah, Venmo, PayPal, whatever. Just email me, Glenn. Just remember, email me. Okay. He used to charge huge money. Oh, but then he stopped being greedy, huh? That's the thing. When people are really good at something and they have a huge audience and their time's worth a lot, they're going to charge a lot. He used to charge huge money for live seminars, but you can find them for free on YouTube now. I'll have to look into that. Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. Let me ask you, engineer, how much time do you spend like studying all this stuff? I'm just wondering, like, how oh, one of our ladies commented, but she didn't join. I think she watches me in the morning. Maybe I'll try a morning live stream one day. I think she's laughing at my thumbnail. My thumbnail is my TH Bucks, by the way. Bacon for breakfast. Oh, are you? We had a fan on here that didn't like bacon. Actually, I mean, he was a nice guy. I had nothing against him, but it was just kind of the rest of the audience was kind of like, what's with this dude that's like bashing bacon? I mean, it is true. It's got a lot of sodium and stuff like that, but you just don't eat it every day. It's in moderation, right? I mean, maybe somebody has religious reasons or whatever, like, no offense to that, but I mean, it's, you don't eat it every day, I mean, about 6 hours a day on markets and market research. So do you work full time? Do you work at home? Because I mean, I don't see how somebody could like work full time and spend that much time researching. Like for me, at the point I'm at in my life, I don't know if I could quiet my mind enough to do that, honestly. But my hat's off to you. That's good for you. You've obviously got a very focused, very sharp mind. So good for you. Someone asked how to send super chats. That's how I do it. Yeah, thank you, Glenn. Not only did you super chat, but you're helping everybody else figure it out. So you're awesome. Anyway, well, all right, you all. Thank you all for. I teach circuit analysis part time at a local community college. Leaves me with plenty of time. You know what I wanted to do? That's another idea. I wanted to be a tenured professor. Now I have master's degrees, so I think you can teach a level below, right? So I could teach undergrad. Tenured professors make like six figures, and it's an easy job. It's really easy compared to like the corporate world. You just teach a class, and the students like you a lot of times for the most part. And I was just a student myself, so I could, relate to most of them anyway. At least the non-spoiled ones, right? Just kidding a little bit. Now, kids these days need role models, right? Like me. But yeah, that is true. Teaching does leave you with plenty of time. And when you're in the academic world, I 100% agree. That's why I always hated professors that were assholes, because it's like, why are you like a lot of my business professors, like at my undergrad, I'm like, I wanted some of these people that were so high strung, I wanted to say, so you failed in the business world and you're here teaching, which is like a cush job compared to the business world. And you're here being a jerk when it comes to grading and whatnot. And you're talking about, well, business is tough and all that. Well, yeah, because you failed in the business world and you're here teaching now. Not that everybody does that, but I agree. The academic world is great. I'd love to teach. Well, I teach on here, but I'd love to teach, one day for sure. Um, and I guess like if you got a PhD, which I'm assuming do you have a PhD or masters or something? I think if you have an undergrad, do you have to teach like grade school, or it's like a level below, right? So community college is technically considered undergrad, right? That's what I'm thinking. So I got to look into that. I got to reach out to some of my connections because I want to teach. I like easy work, you know. Tenured professor. See, teaching on here doesn't pay as well. Not yet, anyway. If I had one of those multi-million subscriber channels, that would be great, But anyway, yeah, I'd definitely like to look into that. And doing research like that, you're having your office hours, you're in your office, probably drinking coffee, whatnot. It's an academic environment. It's great. I think it's great. Anyway, all right, you all been great this evening. One bachelor's and five associate's degrees. Wow, look at you racking them up. Believe it or not, this may surprise you, but I've got three bachelors and I've got two masters. Actually, the three were majors. It's technically one degree, but where I went for my undergrad, they're so stingy, they put them all on one frame. But where I just finished for my master's, I got two separate degrees actually. So I'm like, wow, one school was stingy, the other one wasn't. But basically, as far as majors, I had five basically. So good for you. Good for you. They actually asked me to start teaching before I had a bachelor's. Well, yeah, you're a smart dude. I can see that. All right, everybody, you all have been great this evening. Class is going to be dismissed on that note. Thank you all for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you all got some value out of my options crash course there. Hopefully that made sense. Comment after the fact if you haven't already. And thank you all for tuning in. Take care. Have a good evening.